Imagine you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., your mind racing with worries and what-ifs that tug at your peace. It's a common battleground where silence meets chaos, isn't it? In this turmoil, a single ancient insight whispers, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," a concept penned by a thinker from a distant past. But who? That's a story for another time. Tonight, we're not just revisiting old philosophies. We're uncovering practical strategies for silencing the internal storm. These are timeless techniques that have helped countless individuals navigate the rough seas of emotional turbulence without ever needing to anchor in any dogmatic harbor. Before we sail further into these life-altering strategies, here's a little nudge. If you're keen on transforming how you engage with your thoughts and feelings, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This journey promises insights that you won't want to miss, crafted to free you from the chains of overthinking and emotional upheaval. Join me as we step into a realm of calm and control, where each insight we'll discuss is a step towards mastering the art of detachment. Ready to quiet the noise? Let's dive deep. Lesson 1. Embrace the impermanence of emotions. Let's start our journey with a tale from the bustling streets of ancient Rome, though the names and faces have faded into history. Imagine a young Roman, Marcus, who is grappling with the typical throes of youth: love, ambition, and the quest for purpose. One evening he finds himself at the bustling forum, his heart heavy with unrequited love and a mind swirling with envy towards more successful peers. In this moment of despair, an old philosopher, observing Marcus's distress, approaches him with a small, seemingly insignificant pebble in his hand. "See this stone, young man. Today it's in my hand. Tomorrow it may lie on the path, or be part of a mighty building. It changes its role, its importance, based on where it sits, much like your emotions," the philosopher explains. The philosopher's words strike a chord with Marcus. He continues, "Your feelings, like this pebble, are transient. They shift, evolve, and eventually fade. Today's despair might be tomorrow's indifference. The key is not to clutch them too closely, but to let them flow freely, observing them without attachment." Inspired by the encounter, Marcus begins to practice this art of detachment. Each time he feels overwhelmed by his emotions, he visualizes the pebble, reminding himself of the impermanence of his feelings. This visualization technique gradually transforms his approach to life. He learns to experience emotions fully, yet remains detached enough to let them go when the time comes. This story isn't just about ancient wisdom. It's a powerful metaphor for our own lives. Emotions are integral to our experience, yet they are not permanent fixtures. Like the pebble, they are part of a larger mosaic, important yet not defining. By embracing the impermanence of our emotions, we can gain a clearer perspective and a more balanced approach to life's ups and downs. Now, imagine applying this principle in your everyday life. When you feel a surge of anger during a traffic jam or anxiety before a public speech, remind yourself of the pebble. Acknowledge your emotion, feel it, but remember that it will pass, just as it arose. This simple yet profound acknowledgement allows you to maintain composure and make decisions from a place of calm, rather than being swayed by the tumult of your feelings. Furthermore, this approach is not about suppression or denial. It's about a conscious acknowledgement and management of emotions, which is crucial for mental and emotional health. By practicing the detachment taught by our ancient philosopher, you not only enhance your own well-being but also improve your interactions with others. When you detach from the intensity of your emotions, you respond to life's challenges with wisdom and clarity. This doesn't mean you won't feel deeply or passionately. Rather, you ensure that your actions are guided by thoughtful consideration, not impulsive reactions. In conclusion, embracing the impermanence of emotions is akin to learning a new dance. At first, it may feel awkward and unnatural to step back from intense feelings. However, with practice, this dance becomes a part of your rhythm of life, elegant and fluid, empowering you to navigate the complexities of human emotions with grace and resilience. Let the pebble be your guide, a simple yet powerful reminder that in the theater of life, emotions are transient players, not the director. Lesson 2. The power of perspective in controlling reactions. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between verdant hills and sparkling streams, there lived an old weaver known for her wisdom as much as her exquisite tapestries. People from far and wide would come not only to admire her creations, but also to seek advice on matters both trivial and profound. Among her visitors was a young man, Thomas, fraught with frustrations about his reactions to life's unpredictable events. One particularly serene afternoon, as the golden sun bathed her workshop in a warm light, the weaver listened intently to Thomas's troubles. He lamented about his quick temper and how easily he'd react to even minor inconveniences, often regretting his actions later. The weaver nodded thoughtfully, her fingers deftly working the loom as she began to weave a new story, both literally and metaphorically. "Imagine each of these threads as an event in your life," she started, her hands skillfully maneuvering the bright strands. "Some are darker, representing the challenging times, while others are bright, symbolizing the joyful moments. Now watch how I control the loom, deciding which threads to pull and which to release. The beauty of the tapestry depends on this balance and control." She paused, allowing Thomas to absorb the imagery. "You see, the loom is like your mind, and these threads are like the incidents that life throws at you. You can't always control what threads come your way, but you can decide how to integrate them into your life's tapestry. It's about perspective, choosing which events to respond to and how." Thomas watched as the weaver selected a dark thread and blended it with a light one, creating a stunning pattern. The lesson became clearer to him. His reactions were within his control, even if the events themselves were not. The weaver continued, "Each time you face a challenge, think of it as a dark thread. It's your choice whether to let it dominate your tapestry or to blend it with brighter threads of patience and perspective, thus transforming it into part of a greater, more beautiful design." This story isn't merely about weaving or temperaments, it's about the profound power of perspective. Just as the weaver chooses threads to create harmony and beauty, we can choose our responses to create a balanced life. When faced with a situation that sparks an immediate, often negative reaction, take a step back. Imagine yourself as the weaver at the loom of life, where every challenge is an opportunity to enhance your personal growth and enrich your emotional tapestry. By practicing this shift in perspective, Thomas learned to pause when irritated or angered, visualizing himself at the loom, choosing his threads wisely. This mental imagery provided him the space to select his reactions, allowing him to weave patience and understanding into his daily interactions, thus profoundly altering his emotional responses and relationships. In essence, the lesson here is that while we cannot control every aspect of our lives, we can master our reactions. The power lies not in the events themselves, but in our perspectives towards them. Just like the weaver with her loom, we have the ability to craft a life of resilience and beauty, thread by thread, choice by choice. Each decision to respond thoughtfully adds a vibrant stroke to our life's canvas, slowly transforming challenges into opportunities and frustrations into lessons. This, in itself, is an art form, learning to paint our life's story with colors of calmness and contemplation, guided by the wisdom of our chosen perspective. Lesson 3. The art of letting go of the need for control. In a quaint coastal town, known for its fierce storms and resilient inhabitants, lived an old fisherman named Elias. Renowned not just for his skill in navigating treacherous waters, but also for his unusual calm during the fiercest of storms. Elias held a secret that many in the town wished to learn. His boat, unlike others, seldom returned without a catch, no matter the weather. It was a chilly dawn when Alex, a young, eager apprentice filled with anxiety about the unpredictable sea, approached Elias for guidance. As they set out to sea with dark clouds brewing overhead, Alex's grip tightened around his gear. Sensing his apprentice's unease, Elias decided it was the perfect moment for a lesson, not just in fishing, but in life. "Look at the horizon," he began, his voice steady against the howling wind. "See how it stretches far beyond what we can control. Yet here we are, trying to assert our dominion over these vast waters with our tiny boat. It's futile and exhausting, isn't it?" Alex nodded, his eyes locked on the tumultuous waves. Elias continued, "The ocean, like life, is unpredictable and wild. We can set our nets, steer our course, but we can't command the winds or the fish. The key, my young friend, is in letting go of the need to control everything." He pointed towards a seagull gliding effortlessly above them. "Like that bird, we must learn to ride the winds of life, using them to our advantage rather than fighting against them." To illustrate his point, Elias suddenly loosened his grip on the helm. The boat began to sway more freely with the waves, seemingly perilous at first. Alex's heart raced, but then he noticed something astonishing. The boat, guided partially by the current, moved towards a swath of sea teeming with fish. By relinquishing control, Elias had aligned with the ocean's rhythm, leading them right to their bounty. This experience became a transformative lesson for Alex. He learned that the art of letting go involves embracing the flow of events, trusting in the process rather than trying to force outcomes. It's about preparation and participation without the burden of insistence on specific results. This doesn't mean giving up responsibility or effort, but rather recognizing the limits of our influence and focusing on adapting dynamically to circumstances. Elias's philosophy mirrored a fundamental Stoic belief, the wisdom of differentiating between what we can control and what we cannot. Stoics emphasize focusing our energy only on the former and accepting the latter with grace. This practice not only conserves energy, but also enhances our peace of mind and effectiveness in dealing with life's challenges. As Alex adopted this mindset, his fears of unpredictability lessened. He became more proficient not only in fishing, but also in life, handling personal and professional storms with a newfound serenity. His story spread across the town, turning him from a nervous apprentice into a revered master in his own right, teaching others the art of letting go. In our lives, just like in fishing, there are many elements out of our control. By learning to let go, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and open up to opportunities that we might miss if we were rigidly trying to steer every aspect of our destiny. Letting go isn't about passivity, it's about calculated release, the strategic art of conserving your efforts for where you can truly make a difference, allowing the rest to unfold naturally. This lesson, simple yet profound, is what makes the difference between a life of constant struggle and one of harmonious resilience. Lesson 4. Cultivate silence to hear life's whispers. In the heart of a bustling city, where the cacophony of everyday life never seemed to cease, there lived a renowned musician named Clara. Famous for her captivating performances, Clara had a secret ritual that puzzled many of her contemporaries. Despite her life in the limelight, she would mysteriously disappear each year for a week, withdrawing into silence at a secluded mountain retreat. This curious habit intrigued a young journalist named Theo, who finally got the chance to interview her about this peculiar aspect of her life. As they sat in her cozy living room, surrounded by instruments and awards, Theo couldn't help but ask about her annual retreat. Clara smiled softly, her eyes reflecting a deep serenity. "Imagine living in a world where you are constantly bombarded by noise," she began, "where every moment is filled with sounds, demands, and distractions. In such a world, how can one truly listen to themselves, to others, to the subtle symphony of life?" Clara shared that her retreats were not mere escapes from her bustling life, but essential pauses. "In silence, I find the music that I cannot hear in the noise. It's a deeper, almost imperceptible melody that guides my art and my life." She explained how these periods of silence allowed her to attune to her inner self and to the nuances of her creativity that were often drowned out by the everyday din. This intrigued Theo, and he pressed further. Clara offered to show him a practical example of what she meant by taking him through a brief exercise. She struck a single note on her piano and asked him to close his eyes and focus solely on the sound as it faded into silence. Theo did as instructed, and as the note's resonance dwindled, he noticed how other lesser sounds became clearer: a clock ticking, distant traffic, even his own breathing. Clara's voice broke the momentary silence. "In the absence of continuous noise, our awareness expands, and we start to hear and perceive more deeply. This principle applies not just to music, but to life itself. Silence teaches us to listen to the whispers of our intuition, the quiet voices of insight and wisdom that guide our decisions and our interactions." Theo realized that Clara's retreats were more than just breaks from her career. They were her way of reconnecting with the foundational elements of her being and her craft. She cultivated silence not only to enhance her musical expression, but to deepen her connection with life's subtler aspects, often overlooked yet profoundly influential. Clara's lesson is a compelling reminder of the transformative power of silence in a noisy world. By consciously incorporating quiet moments into our lives, we can cultivate a heightened awareness and sensitivity that enriches our understanding of ourselves and our environments. This practice doesn't require seclusion in a mountain retreat. It can start with daily moments of stillness, where we pause the external chaos to tune into our internal world. Embracing silence is akin to tuning an instrument in preparation for a symphony. It allows us to recalibrate our senses, refine our perceptions, and prepare ourselves to engage more fully when we return to the noise of everyday life. As Clara demonstrated, silence is not merely an absence of sound, but a space for growth and introspection, offering clarity and guidance through the gentle whispers of life's deeper truths. As we draw the curtains on this enlightening journey, let's circle back to our beginning, a lone figure standing at the precipice, not just of a cliff, but of possibility. Like him, you now stand at the brink of a profound transformation. The tales we've woven and the insights shared here are not merely words. They are beacons, lighting your path forward. Now, it's your turn. The power to change, to truly master your mind and reshape your destiny, lies firmly in your grasp. What will you do with this newfound knowledge? Will you step back into the shadows of doubt, or will you leap forward into the light of possibility? Let me leave you with a question that may linger in your thoughts long after this video ends. What story are you living, and is it the one you truly want to write? This is not just a question, it's a challenge, a call to reflect deeply on your life's narrative. Remember, mastery of the mind is not a destination, but a journey. It doesn't end here. Every day presents a new page, a fresh opportunity to sculpt your thoughts and actions into the life you've always imagined. So keep questioning, keep refining, and keep striving. I encourage you to not just move on after this video. Take a moment to reflect, to absorb these lessons deeply. Comment below with the insights you've gained or the changes you plan to make. Share your journey, no matter how small the steps may seem. And finally, If you found value in our time together, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more insights. Your engagement doesn't just support this channel, it fuels a community of like-minded individuals driven to grow, to learn, and to succeed. Thank you for joining me on this voyage of discovery and transformation. Until next time, live deliberately and think profoundly. The future isn't just something that happens to us. It's crafted by the minds and hands of those bold enough to shape it. What masterpiece will you create with the days and years ahead? The canvas is yours.